Happy New Year. Welcome back to another episode of the You, Me, and Jesus podcast. I almost said Keenya Kelly because I got two different podcasts. I am so excited to be here with you all. It is New Year's. Happy 2023. And I'm so excited to be here. And we are doing something different here in 2023. One of the things we're doing is we are kicking this off with a series. There are 10 videos in this series and podcast episodes. And if you're on the podcast, we have kicked these out all 10 all at one time. And so if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, make sure you come and find the You, Me, and Jesus podcast anywhere you can listen to podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And so kicking this series off, we are talking about ways that you can hear God. During this series, you're going to hear me talk about a lot of different things. Some of them are going to be basics of like reading the Bible. Others are going to be like all other types of things that I experience when I am hearing God. But today we are kicking this off with reading books and going to classes. And also, if you hear little sounds like this, it's not jingle bells, it's my earrings, okay? And I should have known better, but it's fine. Everything's fine. One of the things that I used to deal with, like the way that I thought about things was that there's God. God created me. He created the whole world. And the Bible is kind of written, by people, him, the Bible is like Christians are manual, you know what I mean? So God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, all the things are there on the inside of the Bible. You got from Adam to Jesus, you know what I mean? And so from Genesis to Revelation. And so my thinking was that if there's something that I need to know, then it's all going to be literally in the Bible. I can just read it and get exactly what I need from the Bible. But here's what I started to learn. That's not necessarily the case. Things are written there in the Bible for me, but also there are people that have spent lots of time with God. They've just been on this earth a lot longer than me, and they've had a relationship with him a lot longer than me, and they have more revelation into certain things. And I had this opportunity to read about other people's encounters with God, read about other people's experiences with God, whether that's in a book or by going to their class, right? It reminds me of I have a business and I teach people how to strategically build their businesses online. And my clients come to me because I have experience in something that they don't have experience in. I have revelation and knowledge in things that they don't have. So they pay for my book or for my classes or for consulting. And so I feel like it's the same way that if you are wanting to learn more about God, now we're going to talk about the Bible, of course, in this series, so don't get me wrong, but if you want to learn more about God and hearing God, one of the things you can do is you can read books. You can purchase books from people, pastors, leaders, ministers that have been on this journey with God for some time and have learned how to hear his voice, that they are actually able to teach you why you are experiencing this or this or that or what have you. There's so many books that I've read over the years for my business as well as for ministry. And when I think about what I have learned on the inside of those books is they literally caused me to skip a bunch of steps. So it was kind of like some of the pitfalls I could have fell into, I didn't fall into because I learned so much, reading other people's books and going to classes and stuff. It's like when I was having dreams at night, I didn't know how to interpret them or whatever, but I took some dream classes by watching some things on YouTube, like for an extended period of time, buying some DVDs and some CDs, and then doing a 3-month class on how to interpret your God-given dreams. All these different things and tools are here for us. If one of the ways you want to learn how to hear God, then I strongly recommend that you start picking up some books. And whether those are physical books or those are audio books, I highly recommend that you pick up some books and find some classes of people that are teaching things you want to learn about. If you want to learn about the apostolic, the evangelist or the prophetic or dreams, visions, whatever, then start doing some research. You may be attending a church where they don't talk about those things, and that's okay if they don't. But if that's something that you want to learn about, that you want to be able to walk in a lot better or hear God in other ways, then I would strongly recommend that you do some research. Like we go to Google and we search for everything else. Why would we not go to learn and attend some events and classes and seminars to learn about, ways that we can hear God? Okay. That is episode 1 of this series. Now, these are going to be very, very short episodes to help you to get get started with hearing God. We'll talk a lot more about hearing God this year in 2023, but this is the first one, and that is reading books and attending classes. All right. So if you enjoyed this episode on YouTube, click like and subscribe. That way you can be notified when the new episodes launch, and then share this episode with a friend. So if you love the You, Me, and Jesus podcast, make sure you go to all the podcast players so you can listen to the podcast. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play.